Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me and might be of interest to you or someone you know. And that is a less known fact about modern dating with the intent of eventually having a family with people. It's kind of assumed that the superior genes will rise to the top, and in general, it's thought that this is the way it works in nature, and that humans are essentially no exception. We just have more complex systems and ways of doing it sometimes. But there is a counterintuitive and counterproductive feature of our society. And I hate to even use the S word, but it's the best way to say it. Um, Turns out, with a centralized authority, there's a challenge, a new unnatural challenge that other animals and creatures do not have to contend with in the dating world, so to speak, in reproduction, that is. It's interesting to think that there is a predictable percentage of people who get rejected all the time. Any species, any arena, any environment, a predictable number, a percentage will fail to be successful in acquiring a mate, whoever's doing the pursuing. And with this in mind, when you introduce a feature like centralized authority, a certain percentage of those who are rejected with extreme prejudice because they can be. Unfortunately, many people, many human beings will obviously use technology and whatever resources are available to leverage their position, whether it's to be with someone or to not be with someone. They're going to do what they can because they can. So hold that thought for a second. What does this look like, and what are the effects of this when a woman may, or a man even, may involve the infrastructure to defend their stance of independence when approached by somebody, or conversely to block others so that the people that they find appealing or attractive have a better chance, that kind of thing. Well, there's a lot of outcome, but there's one interesting detail in particular that comes out of this situation. And that is the risk, the unnatural risk, the new introduced risk of a centralized authority in the dating world makes it so that the less intelligent of the suitors, the prospective mates, are the boldest. Because, especially after some experience with this routine, they are the ones who hazard the date, so to speak. So, what you end up seeing on a long enough timeline is a multiplication of the types of genes that aren't just reckless and impulsive, but which are downright unintelligent enough to fail to recognize the pattern of being potentially harmed, which happens, and unfortunately it happens. And the more sensitive, more astute, more perceptive of people sometimes become reluctant, more reluctant than the others, to continue getting shot down, literally or figuratively, in a way that is perhaps not worth it, for lack of a better way to say it. I mean, anyway, I'm not trying to be depressing about this, but it's an interesting thing. It's an unnatural feature. So already that there's going to be some unnatural effects of having centralized authority at your fingertips in the dating world. It's in the infrastructure. The government, law enforcement are in every bedroom. They're in every restaurant. Potentially, they are in everyone's pocket right now. And I mention this because for a lot of people, especially men, it's a huge concern. Our reflexes, we are conditioned from very early on, a young age. We are conditioned to be careful, to mind our business, and more importantly, to look at women as business people. We hear this every day in the media and by celebrities and in the workplace. I mean, there's sexual harassment training, there's human resource training, there's a tremendous influence and messages about it that women are not objects. They are not to be pursued unless it is clear and appropriate. But when is it clear? When do women make it clear? How long do you wait for that? With all due respect. So it's safer, unless you're stupid, to just, not pursue them, unfortunately. And my point is that even the intelligent can decide to pursue them in spite of the danger, but what you end up with is a vastly disproportionate greater number of stupid people reproducing. Maybe this sounds familiar. I'm at 6.5 minutes. So when you have a vastly disproportionately larger number of people, or stupid people, reproducing, you end up with a real world situation like in the movie Idiocracy, is what you have. I think people struggle to understand the things that go into that. Yeah, it happens, and yeah, it sucks, and it's depressing, and the movie's a satire. But what if it was simple to understand? What if, with a few changes, it could be avoided? What if our reactions and overreactions to problem people and refusal to uphold freedom and liberty by refusing to create laws that aren't necessary and invoke laws before there's been a problem? What if all that stuff directly contributes to a situation like idiocracy? I mean, that's a lot of words, but if you can't understand that, you can't complain about it. I mean, there it is. It's not even complicated. It's dangerous to date people, especially when you have experience with them being abusive. So, enjoy the guy that chases you. I've said this in a few videos now. Enjoy that guy, I guess. The guy that's going to end up with giving you your kids, because he's the only one who's going to do it. Have a good day. Have a good day. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.